जय श्री गुरु गौरांग गंधरी गिरिधारी राधा ललित माधव जी की जय रमन बिहारी राधा बिहारी रघुनंदन बिहारी जी की जय श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जी की जय राधा दामोदर श्याम सुंदर गोकुल नंद राधा रमन जी की जय कृष्ण बलराम महाराज की जय कृष्ण ओम विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्तिवेदांत नारायण गोस्वामी महाराज की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परिव्राज कचर्य स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्तिवेदांत मधुसूदन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय कृष्ण विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्ति प्रज्ञान यशोदा गोस्वामी महाराज की जय कृष्ण विष्णुपाद vice versa. Okay, this is good. कृष्ण विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्ति जीवन जनार्दन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय नित्य कृष्ण विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य anything wrong? Okay. Krishna Vishnupada Stutra Satishmat Bhakti Vedanta Vamana Goswami Maharaj ki jai Krishna Vishnupada Stutra Satishmat Bhakti Vedanta Trivikrama Goswami Maharaj ki jai Krishna Vishnupada Stutra Satishmat Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj ki jai Krishna Vishnupada Stutra Satishmat Gorgovinda Maharaj ki jai Krishna Om Vishnupada Stutra Satishmat Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj ki jai Krishna Vishnupada Stutra Satishmat Bhakti Kamal Govinda Goswami Maharaj ki jai Krishna Om Vishnupada Stutra Satishmat Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj ki jai Krishna Om Vishnupada Stutra Satishmat Bhakti Rakshak Shridhar Goswami Maharaj ki jai Krishna Om Vishnupada Stutra Satishmat Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Param Bhagavat Srila Gorkishore Das Ji Maharaj ki jai, Saptam Goswami Satchidananda Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai, Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Ji Maharaj ki jai, Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Shri Goswami Prabhu ki jai, Swarup Damodara Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parishad Vrinda ki jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai, Prem se कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, नवद्वीप मंडल की जय, ब्रज मंडल की जय, क्षेत्र मंडल की जय, त्रिभुवन मंगल श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, चर संप्रदाय चर आचार्य चर धाम की जय, रसेश्वरी क्रियेश्वरी वृंदावनेश्वरी श्रीमती राधा तुकुरानी की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरवे गुरुचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालय कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। पञ्चकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। आनन्दलीलमय विग्रहाय मवदीव्यच विसुन्दराय तस्मै महाप्रेमरसप्रदाय चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते। नित्यानन्द नमस्तुभ्यं प्रेमानन्दप्रदायिने कलोकल्मषनशाय जन्मपतये नमः। अजनुलाम्बितभुजो कनकवदातु सङ्कीर्तनाय कवितरो कमलायताक्ष विश्वाम्बरो द्विजवरो जुगधर्मपालो वन्दे जगत्प्रियकरो करुणावतारो कनकजलादगात्रो नीलशोणब्जनेत्रो मृगमदवरबालमालतिकुन्दमाला तरलतरुणवेशो नीलपीताम्बरेशो स्मरनिभृतनिकुञ्जे राधिका कृष्णचन्द्र तवैवास्मि न जीवमि त्वया विना इति विज्ञाय राधे त्वं नयमं चरणन्तिके श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदमायं ददति स्वपदान्तिकम् वृन्दावनीयं रसकेलिवर्तं कालेन लुप्तं निजशक्तिमुत्क सञ्चार्य रूपे व्यटनोत्पुनः स प्रभुर्हृदौ प्रागिव लोकसृष्टिम् श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे. First of all, my unlimited Dandavat pranams to the lotus feet of Srila Gurudev. Nitirila Pravishta Om Vishnupada Stotra Satya Srimad Bhaktivinoda Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Same unlimited Dandavat pranams to the lotus feet of my respected Shiksha Gurudevs. To the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami, whose teachings we're discussing these days. To the lotus feet of dear devotees and friends here in Kunjas near London, in Chandrika Kunj, one of the best of them. So, Hare Krishna. Also to those who are watching us online or in recording. Рангем с Бхактом с Литвос, другим Бхактом с Польски, наши приятели из Сербии, and so on and so on. So, также тем русским преданным, которые понимают английский. Харибол. So, we were discussing the teachings of Srila Rupa Goswami. We started yesterday. So, I'll give some synopsis because today we'll discuss the second half. You can see the 6 figures in the second level on the right. So these are the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. 6 Goswamis. Goswami means very renounced person, also a person who has very, very special, deep conception of the absolute truth. Goswami, also Go means the mind, and Swami means one who is master of the mind. So the 6 Goswamis used to be very rich. Shri Rupa and Sanatana. So Rupa, Sanatana, Raghunath Bhatta, Jiva, Gopal Bhatta, Raghunath Das. 6. So Rupa is considered to be the leader, and his elder brother Sanatan, they were together staying in Ramakeli village. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came there. Krishna is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was chanting the holy names of the Lord, that is, performing Sankirtana. For 24 years he was a householder, and he was playing the role of logician, the knower of verbal roots, and the knower of Sanskrit, and Nyaya means the art of logic. So he was challenging everyone. He could prove something which cannot be normally proved, or he could refute whatever he had proven just a few minutes ago, like this, to make impossible possible, possible impossible, no problem for Krishna. So everybody was, how to say, taken aback by his great skills. But then he became a devotee. He went to Gaya. Gaya is a place where sons perform rituals, final rituals for their departed parents, especially son for father. So his father, Jagannath Mishra, departed, and he went to Gaya to perform last rituals. And there he met his guru, Sri Ishvara Puripad. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. He doesn't need any guru. He's the guru for the whole world. But to show example for us, he accepted guru. So Ishvara Puripad gave him Hare Krishna Mahamantra and Gayatri Mantra, Gopal Mantra. Immediately, Sri Chaitanya became mad with prema, mad with divine love. Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? He was shouting, and he was losing consciousness and falling on the ground unconscious. Then somebody was lifting him, and again he was running after Krishna. When he came back to Navadvip, nobody could recognize him. He started describing verbal roots from the point of view of Krishna. This root is like this because it's related to Krishna in such a way. And this root is like that because related to Krishna in that way. So everybody was very much surprised. Some students of his were very disturbed, and they left him, and some stayed with him, so they became participants of Sankirtana. Sankirtana means chanting, congregational chanting of the holy name. Maybe not everyone knows, but San has a very special meaning. So the first meaning is congregational, done together. Sankirtan. Kirtan means chanting. And Sankirtan means chanting together. But San has a special meaning. Means with Sambandha Jnana, with the knowledge of relationship with the Supreme. That comes from Guru and Vaishnavas. So when you chant, then knowledge of your transcendental relationship with Krishna, meaning rasa with Krishna, gradually come in your heart, manifest in your heart. So that is called Sankirtan. Sankirtan. So Sri Chaitanya was chanting and dancing, and finally, when the 24 years of his earthly life elapsed, he took sannyas. You know, sannyas, this is renunciation from the world. So he was dressed like this, like we are, the son of the rising sun, that is this color of Anuraga of Srimati Radhika, deep love of Radha, which Radha has for Krishna. So he wanted to go to Vrindavan, and before that, he was cheated by Nityananda, here in blue. He cheated him. He said, yes, Vrindavan is that way. He told the boys, some cowherd boys were there. When spiritual person, Avadhut means outside rules and regulations, comes, you tell him that Vrindavan is that way. Okay, we'll tell. So actually that was Navadvip, not Vrindavan, and that was Ganga, not Yamuna. But Mahaprabhu saw Vrindavan everywhere anyway. So there he met all of his devotees in the house of Advaita Acharya for the last time, including his mother, Shachi Devi, and then he left for Jagannath Puri. So, but finally he went to Vrindavan. Still he went to Vrindavan. But on the way, he visited Rupa and Sanatana in the village of Ramakele. So they met Mahaprabhu, and their life completely changed. He gave them new names. They were working, taking very high positions in the Muslim government. Then India was conquered by Muslims. So they were working. Sanatana was prime minister and Rupa was personal advisor in the government of Nawab Hussain Shah, the governor of Bengal at that time. So Rupa said, no, your names will be different. So Rupa was Dabir Khas and Sanatana was Sakara Malik. And Mahaprabhu said, oh, you will be Rupa and you will be Sanatan. Rupa means form. So Sri Rupa Goswami, in his internally conceived spiritual form, is Rupa Manjari, very, very dear, maid servant of Srimati Radhika. Did you know that? It's very, very important. Okay, so today, please be attentive. Very, very, how to say, important truths we're discussing. So, and Sanatana is Labanga Manjari, another very close maidservant of Srimati Radhika. As we were talking in our first meeting, everybody, every living being of this material world has a potential. Svarupa Anubandhi means the potential of spiritual body for the development of spiritual body. Right now we're having it as a seed, right? So it has to grow. It has to grow by the process of watering the seed, right? What is that? Shravanadi. Shravana Adi. Shravan means hearing, chanting, remembering, and so many other processes, but hearing, chanting, remembering. Most important three processes, out of which most important is Purushottam. I'm preparing my machine gun. If you don't chanting, yes, good. A complimentary A. Okay, or as we said, we used to say in Soviet Union, пятерка с плюсом. 5 was plus. So complimentary A, very good. So chanting is the best process. So Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas and went to Jagannath Puri. And then he went to Vrindavan. So yes, on the way he met Rupa and Sanatana and Ramakeli. After he met them in Ramakeli, they could not stay as they were. That's how it comes. When you meet a guru of such caliber, your life totally changes. You get a very heavy, heavy blow. I mean, very deep impression. Very, very deep impression. I remember when our Gurudev Shishimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj first time came to Moscow. We came, 7 devotees from Lithuania. We came. And somebody noticed. Everybody was crying in the hall. Everybody. Like 250 people, first festival, not so many. Not 1,000, but like 250. Everybody, because they could see. That's Swami Prabhupada. New manifestation of Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. They could see. So everybody's life was changed. And Gurudev was such a humorist, you know. He was so funny. He was saying, I want to have your hearts in my pocket. My pocket, he was collecting hearts. Collecting, you know. Srila Gurudev was born on a new moon day. New moon day, Amavasya. In Indian tradition, there's a, belief that if a child is born on new moon day, he will become a thief. So Gurudev is a heart thief. It's a thief of hearts. I want to have your hearts in my pocket. So that's what happens. So therefore, Rupa and Sanatana's hearts were fully stolen. They were stolen anyway before, but when they saw Mahaprabhu, they could not continue like that. They could not continue. So they could not serve in the government service anymore. They could not serve. So we're told about Sanatana, how he neglected the service and he was reading Srimad Bhagavatam in the association of Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, and then Nawab came, the ruler came and said, what are you doing? Finally, I'll put you to jail. So he was put to jail, and Rupa Goswami. They were richest people, like billionaires of their time. So Rupa Goswami put aside a certain amount, I think 10,000 gold coins. That's a huge amount, like several, $1 million, whatever. Yeah, even today. So, and that money was used by Sanatan for buying him out of the jail. He bribed a custodian and escaped. And then he met Mahaprabhu a bit later in Varanasi, Benares. And Rupa, and they had the third brother, Anupama. They went to Prayag. So in Prayag, they met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And for 10 days, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in their second meeting, was telling them the essence of Krishna consciousness. What is the process and the deep meanings of different stages of the process, deep meanings of the science of rasa, relationship of living entity with the Lord. So we stopped just in the middle yesterday. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Rupa Goswami met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu only 3 times. 3 times. There's a popular opinion, one who served Gurudev personally, he's the closest. Maybe so, but maybe not. Maybe not. Physical closeness is good, but it's not the most important factor. There are 2 types of service to Guru Seva. Vani and Vapu. So Vapu is by body. Personal servant. Personal servant takes care, cooks, washes clothes. When Guru is very old, and cleans his stool and different things. Menial service, very good, but it's not most important. Most important is Vani. Vani means teachings. So Srila Rupa Goswami met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu only 3 times. In Ramakeli first time, in Prayag second time, and then he went to Jagannath Puri. He went to Jagannath Puri and received very special mercy there. So practically 3 times. Mahaprabhu sent him to Vrindavan, go to Vrindavan. So Rupa, Sanatana, and the other Goswamis, they lived in Vrindavan, very renounced. They used to be richest people of the time, but they remained only with gopins, only with loincloths, staying each night under a new tree. And that was most wonderful for the whole world, because the whole world came to know thus that Krishna consciousness is the highest gift, the highest riches. What can be more precious than the name of Krishna? It's Krishna himself. Nama Chintamani Krishna's Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddha Nitya Mukta Bhinnatvam Nama Namino. No difference between Nama and Nami. When we chant Krishna, if the devotee is pure, immediately he is with Krishna. If a disciple is following nicely, then immediately the taste for Krishna's name is coming into the heart. And even a neophyte still feels something, some shadow, of the holy name is coming. And how many regulated rounds were Goswamis chanting? We don't know. Because Gurudev is saying Rupa Goswami was chanting Hare and falling unconscious. There was no counting. Srila Haridas Thakur, we know, 300,000 holy names. We know, 300,000. That is 192 rounds, basically. 3 times 64, basically around the clock. Means no clock, no counting of hours and minutes. But Srila Rupa Goswami, okay, I'll tell you one story about Srila Rupa Goswami, which is, very refreshing, because we'll be listening to some tattva now, after some philosophies. Philosophy is also needed, so be ready. But before that, one very, very nice story about Srila Rupa Goswami, how Srila Rupa Goswami was performing bhajan. Seva sadhaka rupena siddha rupena chatrahi tadbhava lipsuna karyavraja lokana sarata. So he was in Vrindavan and he was chanting the holy name. By body, as a sadhaka, as a practitioner, he was chanting the holy name. And with his spiritual body, he was serving the divine couple as Sri Rupa Manjari, as a practitioner, sadhaka, Rupa Goswami, and as a siddha, means most exalted maid servant of Srimati Radhika called Rupa Manjari. Manjari is a very qualified girl, aged no more than 12, 10 and a half, maybe like this, who is able to enter most confidential pastimes of Shri Radha and Krishna. There's a pranam of Sri Rupa Manjari, pranam of Rupa Goswami, we know. Sri Caitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena, you know this. But there's pranama of Sri Rupa Manjari also written by Sri Raghunath Das Goswami. Tambularpana pada mardana payo, dana bisara dibir, vrindaranya maheshwarim priyataya, yastoshayanti priya, prana preshta saki kulada pikila sankochita bhunika, keli bhumi sharupa manjari mukasta dasika samshraye. Yeah. The very qualified maidservants of Srimati Radhika are able to render service which is not available even to the closest friends of Srimati Radhika, such as Lalita and Vishaka. That service is not available normally for ordinary jivas, even to friends of Srimati Radhika, to speak of ordinary jivas. But the very qualified maidservants of Srimati Radhika, they can bring tambula. Tambula means betel nuts. To refresh the lotus mouths of the divine couple, Radha and Krishna. Tambularpana pada marjana, to wash the lotus feet. Dana bisara, to arrange for their meetings. Dana bisara livi. So even Lalita and Vishaka are not able to enter the kunja where the divine couple is situated at certain very, very intimate moments. But those girls, Manjaris, the maidservants of Srimati Radhika, can enter. No one else can. Their position is so high that even Krishna worships their lotus feet. The heart of Vrindavan is called Seva Kunj. Seva means service. Kunja means grove, the service grove. So normally Krishna is the object of all seva, all service. All devotees of Krishna in different abodes are serving him with love and affection. But in Seva Kunj, in the service grove, Krishna becomes Sevak. He becomes a servant. He becomes a servant of Srimati Radhika's lotus feet. When Srimati Radhika is immersed in man, very, very deep, jealous anger, nobody can break, even Krishna. Radhika doesn't want to see anything black. She calls him Black Cheetah, and she instructs her manjaris like Rupa, Rati Manjari is Raghunath Das Goswami, not to let that Black Cheetah come close even to her kunja. She hates anything black. She says, oh, paint everything white. They're painting even their eyebrows white. They're wearing white, everything white, not black, because Krishna is black. Cheetah. Yes, he's the Supreme Personality of God. We're describing highest conceptions right now, somehow, in this close company today. Right? To see that that path is really mystical of Sri Rupa Goswami. And the service he means she, Rupa Manjari, can give, very, very special and confidential. So, thus Srila Rupa Goswami was meditating, envisioning her, like Rupa Manjari, eternal service to the lotus feet of Shri Radha and Krishna. But externally he was chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare means Radha, Krishna means Krishna, all attractive. Rama means Radha Raman. Radha Raman means one who is always in the heart of Srimati Radhika. So Rupa Manjari was meditating on the eternal service. And at that time, it was a very hot day. Srila Rupa Goswami was seated under the tree in the shade. And one devotee was passing by. His name was Kanchana Krishnadas. Kanchana Krishnadas was crippled. He was limping, and in a funny way, limping. At that time, Srila Rupa Goswami was absorbed in a very funny pastime, meditating in his mind on a very funny, joyful pastime of Sri Radha and Krishna. There's a lake Kusuma Sarovara. Kusuma Sarovara. You remember? Big lake with a huge palace. Actually, that's a tomb of some Muslim ruler. Anyway, very nicely looking, 17th century or something. So kusum is a type of flowers used to grow, but still they grow on by the side of the lake. So Radhika came that morning to collect some flowers for puja, for Krishna, for garland. And her Sakhis, her friends, were helping her. And she was picking those flowers. And Krishna, Krishna is such a humorist. Krishna is so naughty. So Krishna was on the tree. And Radhika couldn't see him. But suddenly he could see her. And Radhika was picking flowers in a very determined, strong way. So she was holding basket in one hand. On the other hand, she was picking those flowers and putting into the basket. And in order to pick all the flowers from a certain branch, she was holding the branch down a bit to make it convenient to pick from all the branch. At that moment, Krishna could see. Krishna could see that he was deliberately pressing the branch down for the Radhika, so that Radhika can reach very easily. And then when she finished with the flowers, then he pressed the leg back. He pressed his foot back, so the branch went up and Radhika was up, suspended on the tree. Like, and no way, cannot jump really too high. So she took shelter of what? Krishna's name for sure. Oh, Krishna, Krishna, help, Krishna, Krishna. Many other names like Govinda, Madhava, Damodara, other names. So Krishna jumped down and, okay, jump now into my embrace. She was hesitant. She didn't want that. She was in a sort of angry mood and manifesting man, jealous anger for some time, but that she could see that there's no other shelter. So she had to jump down and Krishna caught her. So loving meeting happened, right? So at that time, Rupa Manjari was close. And Rupa Manjari was doing everything for that meeting. So Manjaris, or very young and qualified maidservants of Srimati Radhika, expert at arranging the meetings of the divine couple. We meditate on our Gurudev's eternal service in those leelas every morning when we sing Guru Ashtaka, Samsara Davanava. In verse 6, it says, Nikunjayo Naharati Kali Sejai Yayali Biryu Tira Pekshaniya Tatrati Daksha Dati Vallabhasya Vande Guru Shri Charana Ravindam. We meditate on the lotus feet of our spiritual master, who is very, very expert at arranging the meetings of divine couples, Shri Radha and Krishna. Nikunjayo. Srila Gurudev used to explain Guru Ashtaka to us. And he was saying that the first half dedicated to the external service Srila Gurudev is doing. He's attracted by Sankirtana. He's teaching his disciples to serve the deities. He's so happy to see how his disciples and followers are taking Bhagavad Prasad of 4 types, etc. And then second half comes. Second half describes internal service of Sri Guru. How he's feeling very, very special affection towards Madhurya Lila, loving pastimes, in the mood of beloved, and especially maidservants of Srimati Radhika who are organizing meetings of divine couples. And verse 6 is most confidential in Guru Ashtaka. And service of our Gurudev is described there, so we meditate on that. So Srila Rupa Goswami was meditating on that Lila and he started laughing. He's starting laughing. But Kanchana Krishnadas was thinking, alas, even in our days, the sadhus, the holy people, they see physical deficiency of others and they can laugh at that. So he took offense. He was thinking that Rupa Goswami's love was laughing at him.
which was certainly not true. Srila Rupa Goswami hadn't seen him at all. So Kanchana Krishnadas walked off. And immediately the picture of that pastime disappeared from Srila Rupa Goswami's vision. Immediately. Immediately. What to do? What happened? Oh Radhe, oh Krishna Chandra, where are you? I'm so unlucky, unhappy, I cannot see you. What to do? How to return that vision? Oh Sanatan, older brother. Oh Sanatan, please help me. Sanatan was always advisor for Sri Rupa. Oh Sanatan, please help me what to do. Sanatan Goswami knew that his younger brother Rupa was faultless. There's no, how to say, fault in anything he was doing. But somehow the picture disappeared. So he said, oh, it must be that some Vaishnava had taken offense from some of your unconscious activity. So you please find out who that was. How to do that? Oh, you organize a feast and invite all the Vaishnavas to that feast. One who will not come, the one who will not come must be the offended one. So he invited so many Vaishnavas to the feast. He prepared a feast and invited. And everybody came except for Kanchana Krishnadas. So then Srila Rupa Goswami went to his home and said, oh, dear Prabhu, you didn't come for the feast. Is it that you have taken offense because of some of my actions? Yes, another day I was walking down the road and I saw you chanting Harinam under the tree and you laughed at my physical disability. Oh dear Prabhu, to be honest, I couldn't even see you. I couldn't see your presence because I was meditating on that lila he described. Well, so there was one funny episode, so I laughed. Oh, was that it? I'm so sorry, please forgive me. No, you please forgive me. So they embraced, and to substantiate that you're really forgiven me, please take the full plate of prasadam. And Kanchana Krishnadas took the plate of prasadam. So that's very instructive pastimes, giving us good instruction that we have to be very cautious, because even unconsciously, if we can offend someone, we have to, although no fault, we have to apologize. So that is the pastime, which was like introductory, and now. So Rupa and Anupama, his younger brother, met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Dashashvameta Ghat, place of bathing place at Ganga in Prayag. And for 10 days, non-stop, Srila Rupa Goswami was explaining the art of Krishna consciousness for them. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that the ocean of Bhakti Rasa is so deep, it's not possible to fully describe it. So I'll describe just one drop. And in one drop, you can see the whole substance of the whole ocean. So only one drop Mahaprabhu was describing. So thus Mahaprabhu was empowering Srila Rupa Goswami for teaching all the world the science of Krishna consciousness, because Mahaprabhu could not write any books. So the Goswamis were writing books. So Srila Rupa Goswami, as you remember, he wrote Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu book, the Nectarian Ocean of Bhakti Rasa, right? Now, before Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, before Srila Rupa Goswami, the whole world was speaking about Bhakti. But very few were the knowers of Bhakti Rasa. Bhakti is devotion. But practical application of devotion, how you serve your beloved Lord, that's what Rasa means. So Mahaprabhu gave the science of Rasa to Srila Rupa Goswami, and today at the end we'll listen about the transcendental relationships every soul has with the Supreme Lord, the particularities of those relationships. So everything was described by Srila Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Okay, so then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that the living entity is very minute, very minute. If we take the tip of a hair and divide it into 100 parts, and every part, 100th part, we divide into another 100 parts, there will be 1/10,000th of a tip of a hair. So that's the measurement of the individual living entity. And In material world, there are 8,400,000 species of life. Some of them immovable, some are moving, some are less developed, like fish, for example, or aquatics and reptiles, etc., insects. And some more developed, they're quadruples. And to human form, only 400,000 species belong. Only 400,000 species. So amongst those 400,000, mostly they're uncivilized. So uncivilized means having no Vedic culture. So now in Kali Yuga, we think that sin is norm of life. Everybody's eating cow meat, everybody's killing cows in slaughterhouses very cruelly. So since you're spiritual people, you've seen those movies like Earthlings, etc. Very, very cruel ways, of demoniac people. So they kill animals, especially cows. Right, and those belonging to Vedic culture, they constitute a very special category. There's a big difference whether a religion belongs to Vedic culture or not. If not, then anyway, those are mostly versions of Vedic culture for uncivilized, such as world religions mostly are like that. So very, very simple philosophy. Okay, love each other, don't fight. That's it. But if you ask them what is the soul, they'll say nothing or say very little. One of the Maharajas I was going here and there before was in America. He was a 12-year-old boy. He was in Catholic school. And he asked his teacher, Catholic priest, can you tell me about the soul? What is the soul? And the teacher said, oh, the soul is such a thing which God gives to man so that man can come to him. The boy was thinking, that's too little for me. I'm not satisfied. So very, very elementary Siddhanta, very elementary philosophy. But what is the soul? Immediately you see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to Rupa Goswami and quoted the verse. Quote the verse. If you want to say something, quote a verse from the Vedas. Okay, it's stated. And so those who belong to Vedic culture mostly worship demigods. There are 33 million demigods. If you come to an Indian temple, mandir, in the West or in India, you will see 5 deities, Panchapasana system, 5 deities. Durga, Shiva, Ganesh, Surya, and Vishnu. So Vishnu is like one of them. And they think, oh, it's the same who to worship. Yet not yet the path. With your Lord means your path. Hinduism is very liberal, broad-minded. So, but well, if you have a ticket to New York, you will not go to Delhi. And if you have a ticket to Moscow, you will go to Tokyo. So different results are achieved. You go to Delhi, you can come to Vrindavan, 150 kilometers only. And to New York, very far from to Vrindavan, to New Vrindavan also. You can go to New Vrindavan in West Virginia. Anyway, different results. And they normally offer flesh and even wine to Kali Devi. And they achieve their respective results. So they worship Ganesh for money, they worship Lakshmi for money, they worship Surya for health, but they worship Vishnu also for material results. But devotees of Vishnu are very, very small quantity, those who purely worship Vishnu. Because in all Vedas, Puranas, Upanishads, it's said that Vishnu is the source of the demigods. And Vishnu also has many, many gradations. That cosmic map is a map of cosmology with so many manifestations of Krishna, of Vishnu in many, many abodes. Every abode has the specific mood, which isn't typical only for that abode. And those particular souls, they go to that abode and they achieve perfection in their service. So amongst worshippers of Krishna, normally they worship Narayan. Whole South India, they worship Narayan. Some of them worship Ram, less quantity. Ayodhya is a bit higher than. Narayan is four-handed. He has pastimes, but those pastimes are so much Aishwarya, means with so much awe and reverence. And those who worship Rama, they also consider him human, like an ordinary king. Yeah, there's closeness, but they know that's the Lord still in a human shape. But they know this is the Lord. Now, worshippers of Krishna, very small quantity. If you take in the Indian context, the percentage of worshippers of Krishna, oh, not so much, not so many of them, not so many of them. Mostly they worship Narayan and Ram. Shiva is okay, they consider him on the same level as Krishna. Is a bit different, but Sada Shiva, some of them, yes, it's a bit different. So then we were mentioning, I think, in the first lecture, that there are different abodes also within Krishna Loka. There's Dwaraka, there's Mathura, there's Goloka, where Radha and Krishna are like married couple, and Vraj. So the only area in which nobody knows that Krishna is really God is Vraj. He's Vrajendra Nandan Shyamasundar, the wonderful youth, always playing the flute, of the darkish complexion of fresh rain cloud, having a long, long garland of 5 types of forest flowers by Jayantimala, and the yellow pitambar, the yellow shawl, decorating his attire. And those artists who know the principles of contrast, they know that flashlight, the lightning is contrasting the dark sky, dark blue sky. So in that way, Krishna's wonderful appearance is I would say, his attire contrasting his Shyama Sundar appearance very wonderfully. So there, everybody is attracted by Krishna and Vraj, and nobody knows that he's God. Nobody has nobody has any idea about that. So, Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagavana Jiva Guru Krishna Prasadapaya Bhakti Lata Bija. Then Sri Rupa Goswami heard that verse from Mahaprabhu, that traveling all over the universes, there are many universes, not only ours, for lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes, the fortunate living entity meets Sri Guru, who gives Bhakti Lata Bija, means the seed of devotional service. Seed of devotional service. Otherwise, it's said that, well, the seed is already in the heart. We have that potency. But Sri Guru gives water to the seed and fertilizes the soil with the water and some special Harikatha. Harikatha means narrations about Krishna. So when we hear Harikatha from the pure source, then something starts clicking in the heart. The potential which is in us starts being activated, and we become attracted to the reality of spiritual world. There are 3 types of Harikatha, you know that? 3 types. The first type is reality. You get reality. That is pure Harikatha. That is what Guru says. The pure Vaishnavas say. The second level is information about Harikatha. That's good. Like we can discuss, we can gather, and if we follow purely, it's very good information, high quality information. I can discuss that and become very enlivened towards hearing and understanding pure Harikatha. And the third level is just words. So that's very unlucky if we hear that. Our generation, the people from the 90s, end of 80s, 90s, we were very much confused by that in our time. That you read one thing in the books and you hear something else in the reality, which is not, how to say, giving the mood of the books, understand? So bhakti means the mood and not just the letters, pen and paper. So before there were no books, before Kali Yuga started, and for the sclerotic population of Kali Yuga, the books were introduced. But the books, they just give Harikatha. Sadhu Sangha, or association of pure devotees, If it's not available, then we can associate with books. Devotees were complaining to Srila Gurudev about their situations. They said, "Oh, Gurudev, in my country, in my city, there are no devotees." And Gurudev was saying, "Then put books around you. Sit amongst the books. You know, put the books around you and surround yourself with the books. That's it. Surround yourself with the books." So, Shastriya Sadhu Sangha. Yes. Param Gurudev Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj wrote a very interesting article, Shastriya Sadhu Sangha. Holy association with holy scriptures. So Guru gives task, children go home and do homework, read books. Then, okay, we've heard so much. So after hearing, we read. And through reading, we engage in mananam, means philosophical understanding and supporting our mood. Because sometimes, after having heard the class, you can ask each other, how was the class? Great. What was it about? Cannot say much. Like 10-15% is there. So you have to therefore read the books and back with those imports. In our temple in Vrindavan, in Krishna Balaram Mandir, even recordings are forbidden. Srila Gurudev used to say, black box will cheat you, remember that? So recordings are forbidden. Didi our Didi, once hang out announcement. In Krishna Balaram Mandir, no dictaphone, no camera, no this, no that. Period. So that was it. But, well, technically it's possible to use dictaphone in order to, remind yourself. So devotees still secretly do. And in Gurudev's times, there was massive recording, and devotees were listening to that, and so many books were made according to the recordings. So that's mananam, or that's philosophical understanding. And then smaranam, or remembrance, comes. So shravanam, mananam, smaranam. This is the line. So reading books are very important. Therefore, Rupa Goswami was writing books, as others also, other Goswamis. So after having received the mercy of Sri Guru, that fortunate jiva, first fortunate living entity, becomes a devotee. Right? Becomes a devotee. So we just turn our switch towards Krishna Seva, towards service to Krishna. Whatever we do, what we're doing. Okay, driver becomes bhakta driver. Builder becomes bhakta builder. Baker becomes bhakta baker. Everything but plus devotional service. So that's the first level, karma yoga. Very good. Then pure bhakti will come through activity, first of all. So the activity is the basis. So therefore, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada was saying, you must work. Devotional service means work, he was telling them. We're doing so many things, distributed masses of books, built many temples. So that's activity. So in this way, bhakti seed will become bhakti kripa. Bhakti kripa will manifest by seva, by the service. So seva or service is a practical application of hearing Harikatha. If you hear but you don't serve, it means you don't hear. You have to serve after you've heard. Hearing and serving. Shravanam, sevanam. Shravanam and sevanam. Very easy. You just go to the kitchen and peel potatoes. Or, mix cement, whatever is needed, or buy vegetables, or do the garden. So, and that will be not karma, that will be bhakti. Oh, another story. Story comes upon story today. Interesting. Haven't really started the subject matter. Anyway, the second half is not so long actually. Once, two gentlemen from Calcutta came to Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. And they wanted to perform serious bhajan. They wanted to remember Radha and Krishna. And Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj told them, oh, here's the garden, and in the garden, there's a task for you. You plant aubergines. Okay, so in American, eggplants. Those from America who are listening to us, those are called eggplants in America. Aubergines in British English. So they were shocked. Wait a minute. We were planting aubergines in our gardens, in our homes. And Babaji Maharaj tells us to do the same. So very disturbed, they went to see Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who was Babaji Maharaj's Shiksha disciple, and he also knew those two gentlemen. And they said, "Oh, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Babaji Maharaj is telling us to plant aubergines. How to understand? We want to meditate on Radha and Krishna, and he's telling about aubergines." Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, "Babaji Maharaj gives you a task according to your qualification. Because you have karma adhikara, means you can do only practical activities. You have no idea about Radha and Krishna, but through this service, which will be practically performed for the pleasure of Radha and Krishna directly under the instruction of Babaji, then you will be able to concentrate your mind on Radha and Krishna while doing the garden." So our merciful guardians in Vrindavan, Didi and Maharaj, they tell us, everybody should do garlands for the festival. I remember this February, we were there when was Gurudev's Vyasa Puja. You came later. That was something amazing. Something amazing. There was 350 kilos of flowers, I think, was brought. You can imagine. Normally like 50, 100, 150, no more than 200 for big festivals. But 350 kilos of flowers were brought. And devotees were making garlands day and night because there was a great manifestation of 10 avatars from the flowers hanging. 10 avatars, plus 11th Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. So Didi told to do that. And everybody was doing. And your servant also was doing, like normally we're sannyasis, we're like, okay, we have some other engagements, we're not doing garlands. But I realized that time when you do garlands, something happens. Because that's purely engagement of the manjaris, of maidservants of Srimati Radhika. And if those devotees who are intimately related to the Goswamis, intimately related to the eternal service, they tell you to do garlands in a kunja. Kunja means grove. The temple in Vrindavan is called Kunja. So a temple is also called the Kunja, Marjali Kunja. Then your eternal service, your eternal, how to say, tendency becomes manifest. And you prepare yourself for realizing your spiritual body. Gradually, that's what happens. So, seed becomes kripa. Thus, seed becomes kripa, and one has to become a gardener. Devotee has to become a gardener, and to make a fence around the kripa. The stronger the fence is, the less chance there is that some goat or any dog or anyone will come, a thief, and harm the plants, and bhakti kripa specifically. So, as one waters the bhakti lata bija, or the seed of devotional service, the seed sprouts, and the kripa gradually grows to the point where it penetrates the walls of this universe and goes beyond the river Viraja. River Viraja is the borderline between material world and spiritual world. River Viraja. So the plant penetrates the spiritual atmosphere of the Vaikuntha, of the spiritual world. So going all the way through Brahmana effulgence, then going into Vaikuntha atmosphere, and if the tendency to become the eternal servant of Krishna in Vraj is there, so it goes towards Vraj, all the way up to Krishna Loka. The kripa gradually expands in the Goloka Vrindavana, and it produces the fruit of love of Krishna, prema. So that is the fruit of the whole tree. But there's one danger. What is that? Offense. There are 10 offenses in chanting of the holy names. If the devotee commits an offense at the feet of Vaishnava, especially, that's the first offense to the holy name. While cultivating the creeper of devotional service in the material world, his offense is compared to a mad elephant that uproots the creeper and breaks it. The mad elephant enters the garden and destroys everything. With his trunk, he uproots the bhakti creeper, throws away. So Vaishnava Parat is very, very dangerous and horrible. There are 6 types of Vaishnava Parat. You remember them? Okay. Hanti, Nindati, Vaidveshti, Vaishnava Nandinandi, Krodya, Krodya, Harsham, Vaishnava Patananishat. First one is to beat or to kill. Hanti, I'll tell you. Hanti, Nindati. So to beat or to kill is most dangerous. Then you lose bhakti forever. Hanti, one moment. Hanti nindanti vadveshti vaishnavan abhinandanti krudyate yadino harsham darshane patananishat. So to slander Vaishnava is number 2. To hear malice or to envy towards him, number 3. To fail to welcome or please him, to become angry, and not to feel pleasure when you meet him. So these 6 constitute Vaishnava Aparat. So Radha is the deity of devotion, and Aparadha is something which brings you away from Radha. So that is called Aparadha or offense. So we have to defend our garden from mad elephant. So the fence should be really tall and strong. If you don't understand some features of behavior of a Vaishnava, just don't say anything. Just don't say. Because it may be offensive. What you think, you know. To your thinking is not. We tend to think that what we're thinking is most important in the 3 worlds. But you think, okay, even if you think, be silent. If it's negative, so just or don't associate distance yourself, but don't criticize. That's why Gurudev was repeating. Don't criticize, don't criticize. In our everyday life, we criticize ourselves often. We commit offense. Certainly there are grades. The high Vaishnava is one thing. The severe offense is one thing. But small offense to a not very high Vaishnava also should not be neglected. We should not tolerate those in ourselves. So we have to be very, very cautious. So, especially here, the culture is to be ladies and gentlemen. So, in Bhakti line, it's very, very important. I'm not a great example, but I mean, you have natural cultural tendency for that. So just keep it, develop, and it will be very, very good. Because when India was conquered by the British, then Indians appreciated those manners, you know, the British gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen used to have, and they met it nicely, so it corresponded somehow. So there are 10 offenses of the holy name, but it's a separate subject. We will not talk about that today. But the first one is Vaishnava Aparat, or the offense towards a devotee. Then sometimes unwanted creepers, such as creepers of desires for material enjoyment and liberation from material world, grow along the creeper of devotional service. So what are those? There are anarthas, or unwanted things. There are 4 times 4, 16. 4 categories and 16 in total. So a long time ago, I was in Birmingham Temple. I was drawing these charts. We can use them now. The first type of anartha is Swarupa Brahma, or illusion about spiritual identity. So first one, Jiva Swarupa Brahma, or illusion about the position of a living entity. We may think that we're not Jiva, we're just emptiness, from impersonal philosophy. We may think that we're supposed to melt with the existence of the Lord, or we may think that we've fallen from spiritual world. There are different theories. So those false theories constitute Jiva Swarupa Brahma. Paratattva Brahma, illusion about the spiritual identity of the absolute truth. The Krishna is impersonal light. No, he's Bhagavan having spiritual form. Sadhya Sadhana Tattva Brahma, illusion about sadhana bhakti and sadhya. When we were in the big organization, we were told, oh, you have to distribute books, and when you go to spiritual world, you will continue distributing books. That was half joke. But that's sadhana sadhya tattva brahma. We're very sorry. When we go to spiritual world, then we'll have prema. There will be no books no longer. Anyway, so different theories. Then Maya tattva brahma, the illusion about illusion. That illusion is not as dangerous as it is. And then Asat Trishna, thirst for material enjoyment. In this planet, in paradise, Svargaloka, enjoying the 9 mystic perfections of mystical yoga, desire for mukti, liberation. Then aparadas, offenses, 4 types. Offenses towards Krishna, offenses towards the name of Krishna, offenses towards the deity form of the Lord. That's mostly seva aparat. And jiva aparat, offenses towards the jivas. Then number 4, hridaya durbalya, or weakness of the heart. So tucha asakti, attachment for useless things. Some devotees still attached to something which is completely useless. Kutinati, very dangerous. Kutinati means doing whatever is forbidden and whatever is harmful. Deceitful behavior, diplomatic behavior, that's kutinati. Matsarya, envy. There are 6 enemies popularly known. So, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Maha, Matsarya. Kama means lust, Krodha means anger, Kama, Krodha, Lobha means greed, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, madness, Mada, same. And Mada, Moha, illusion, and Matsarya, envy. So only envy cannot be engaged in service, the only one. The Kama you can engage like the gopis. Gopis ran to Krishna when he was playing the flute. Kama, yes. Then Kama, Krodha, anger you can use when somebody offends. Yes. When somebody offends Krishna, your guru, then you must become angry, even. Otherwise, you will be participant of that offense. Right. Kama, Krodha, Lobha. Lobha means greed. So greed for bhakti, greed for harikatha, very good. Moha and Mada, madness and illusion, gopis were in that state. Radhika was seeing a black tree, she was embracing, she was thinking that's Krishna. Radhika was hearing any sound, oh, that's Krishna's flute. Oh no, there's some rattling. Kama, etc. The bumblebee came, Radhika was thinking, oh, that's Krishna's messenger. But that was right, that was Krishna actually in disguise. Yes, but we can, on advanced stage, even divine madness can be, divine illusion can be, but not Matsarya, envy. Envy can never be. There's no place in spiritual world. But because envy comes from false ego, I must be better than him. If he's better than me, cannot tolerate. How come he came yesterday and I came 30 years ago? How can he be better than me? And all those medieval stories about poisonings and all those things come from there. And finally, last one, sapratishta lalasa, desire for one's own fame and prestige. So devotee is thinking, I am nothing. My Gurudev is everything. I am fallen, nothing special. But new devotees, they tend to think they're special. those things. So we just mentioned the 16 types of anarthas or unwanted things. And now Srila Rupa Goswami is hearing from Mahaprabhu about the most important false creepers. So these creepers, they can grow close to the original creeper, and they may seem to be also of the same category. So we think, oh, there was one creeper, now we have 2, 3, 4, 5, and they're the same. So a person runs from one creeper to the other and is thinking that they're identical, but no, one creeper is nice, one creeper is right, and the others are false. So we have to discriminate, although they look exactly the same. That's one type of weed, I don't know the English for it, which has capacity to look exactly like the original, so, such a masquerade, so you can easily mix them. So sometimes unwanted creepers, such as creepers of desires for material enjoyment, liberation from material world, grow along with the creeper of devotional service. Means bhukti and mukti. Yeah? Bhukti means desire for material enjoyment, and mukti means liberation. So these creepers are most difficult to tell from the original one. Very difficult, because like I want to chant more in order to become well-known chanter. So I want adoration for myself. I want to become well-known, well-established. I want to become temple president, because in the big organization, temple presidents receive 3% from the amount of the sold books. That was the system. So during the Hare Krishna explosion in Siberia back in the 90s, temple presidents were changing automobiles every 2 weeks. Because they were so rich, because containers of books were being distributed. And then the temple presidents were receiving 3%. You imagine how much that was? So changing cars like anything, every month, new car. You imagine? So that's very dangerous. And that's Bhakti Prabhu, isn't it? Or desire for liberation. So a devotee reads books, and Nadanam, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu said, Nadanam na janam na sundarim kavitam vajagadisha kami. Mama janmani janmanishwari bhava tad bhakti rahayatuki. Oh my Lord, I don't want any, how to say, dhanam, no wealth, no followers, no beautiful ladies, described in mundane poetry. Life after life, I want to serve you, not without any desire for exchange, in exchange. So he's reading, but actually desiring those things, especially desiring liberation. Well, some devotees are under the influence of jnana yoga, those processes, so they want impersonal liberation even. There's nothing to do with bhakti. But even I want to go to spiritual world, I want to liberate myself. That's type of thinking the devotees of Vaikuntha mood are having, because they want to develop the 4 types of, achieve 4 types of liberation. In Vaikuntha, remember Vaikuntha, yes? Well, 4-handed Lord Narayan, and all the devotees also having 4 hands. There are 4 types of liberation. Sarupya, having the same form. So they want to develop the same form. Lord Narayan is 4-handed, they're also 4-handed. Sarupya, Salokya, residing on the same planet. They also want to reside on the same planet. Sarishti means having this. Sarishti means, I think, similar riches, and Samipya means in closeness. So they also want that. But devotees of Vraj, they don't want those 5, even 4 types of liberation. Not to speak of the impersonal liberation, Sayuja, melting. Right. There are actually 2 types of Sayuja, Brahma Sayuja and Ishvara Sayuja. Brahma Sayuja is the desire for melting in the impersonal light, and Ishvara Sayuja is the desire for melting in the transcendental body of the Lord. So Srila Swami Prabhupada is saying in the commentaries for Caitanya Charitamrita that those yogis who are really following Patanjali system, they want Ishvara Sayuja. They want to melt in the body of the Lord, which is even, more horrible actually. So we don't want that. But you can say, wait a minute, but devotees in the mood of Vraj, they're also, having desire to go to Goloka Vrindavan, to be with Radha and Krishna. Isn't that so? Yes. And so many prayers are dedicated to that. But there's a very, very big difference in mood. In Vraj, the relationships are so intimate that it doesn't really matter whether that will be in any planet where Krishna comes. When he comes with all of his entourage, they will be able to perform service there. Or the devotee may stay even in hell for preaching, and remember those pastimes and serve Radha and Krishna in his mind. So no real, sense of desire for liberation means devotee is already liberated in that state. So the varieties of such unwanted creepers are unlimited. Some unnecessary creepers growing with the bhakti creeper are such. The creepers for behavior unacceptable for those trying to attain perfection, like cruelty, for example, thievery, gossiping, those things. Diplomatic behavior, kutinati, we were discussing. Ku means bad and na means what is forbidden. Kutinati, so ti is qualifying suffix. So kutinati means engaging in what's forbidden and engaging in what's bad. I always tell this story. The classical example for kutinati was Ravana in Ramayana. In the story of Lord Rama, the previous incarnation of Krishna. Have you heard of Rama? So he was the king, and Sita was his queen, Sita. And Ram, his brother Lakshman, and Sita went to exile to live in the forest in a cottage. And they lived like simple forest hermits. And Ravana came to steal Sita. He was very lusty towards Sita. Well, Sita is mother of the world, but anyway, Ravana managed to steal her. How that happened? First, Ravana sent golden deer. Golden deer was the form of his friend Marichi. And Sita saw golden deer and said, "Oh, I want that golden deer. Can you catch that golden deer for me?" She told Rama. And okay, the will of the wife. Immediately Rama took his bow and arrows and went and said, "Lakshman, his brother, guard Sita here." Okay. And he went there, and all of a sudden there was first Rama said, "Oh no, I don't think that's the real deer. I think that's some demon." No, I want that deer, dead or alive. At least I want the skin. So that was actually Maya Sita who was telling that. Illusory Sita. So Rama went, and all of a sudden there was a shout, "Oh, Lakshman, save me." The voice of Rama. And Sita heard that voice, and she told, "Oh, Rama is shouting for help. You should go and save him." "My brother will not shout for help," Lakshman said. "Aha, you're saying this because you want his death. You want to enjoy me after his death." So that was Maya Sita. That was illusory Sita. And then Lakshman became very morose. He became, purple. And his teeth were pressed. So anyway, the will of the wife of his elder brother, like his mother, so he had to obey. But before going, he said, "Sita, I will draw a magic circle. You will be in that magic circle, so nothing will harm you, so you stay." And went to save Ram, so-called. Suddenly he saw that the deer was killed, and before dying, he shouted with Ram's voice, "Lakshman, save me." So anyway, And at the meantime, Ravana came, the great demon, 10-headed demon, the king of the Rakshasas, of the blood drinkers. He came there and he saw, oh, Sita is alone. And he came in the guise of a sadhu, of a holy person. And he said, Bhiksham Dehi. He said, Bhiksham Dehi. Yes. And Sita was, oh, sadhu, oh, Mahatma, please forgive me. I'm alone. I cannot step out of this circle. But you want something? Okay, so anyway, by cunning words, he drove her out of the limits of the circle. She stepped out and he grabbed her, put in a chariot, on his chariot, and kidnapped her and carried her to all the way to Lanka, Sri Lanka now, the island Sri Lanka. Anyway, so it's a long story. And Ram was his army, captured Sita and brought her back, and still that bridge is there, can be seen from the space. And because of Sita's words, even great war came. But the classical example of Kutinati is that Ravana Sadhu, Sadhu Maharaj. So we can position ourselves as great, preachers, whatever, but secretly engaging in some nonsense. So that is called Kutinati. So very, very serious impediments in the growth of Bhakti Kripa, and we can take those false Kripas as real Kripa, to be a real Kripa. So if one does not distinguish between the Bhakti Kripa and the other Kripas, the sprinkling of water is misused because the other Kripas are nourished while the Bhakti Kripa is curtailed. So we're feeding the other Kripas. Diplomatic behavior feeding, profiteering feeding, animal killing, mundane adoration, mundane importance. This is Bhakti, isn't it? So I have to become best. I have to become Kirtaniya. I have to become book distributor. I have to become temple president. I have to become guru. I have to become sannyasi. I have to become. So the only person you cannot become really is Krishna. You cannot become Krishna. But all the other persons I have to become. So this is called mundane, false ego, mundane importance, the feeling of mundane importance. So if one does not distinguish between the Bhakti Kripa and the other Kripas, the sprinkling of water is misused. Yes, as soon as an intelligent devotee sees an unwanted Kripa growing beside the original Kripa, he must cut it down instantly, cut down. Good gardener, this is a weed, cut down, uproot. The devotee serves the lotus feet of the Lord. When the fruit of devotional service becomes ripe and falls down from the tree, the gardener tastes the fruit and thus takes advantage of the kripa and reaches the desired tree of the lotus feet of Krishna and Goloka Vrindavan. Thus, devotee becomes Rasika Vaishnava, means tastes the flavor, tastes the unforgettable taste of the service to Krishna. So we're so lucky because we're having Sadguru, pure devotee as our Guru. That's why that taste, that smell, we can feel now already. So to taste the fruit of devotional service is the highest perfection of life, and in the presence of such perfection, four material perfections, religion, economic development, sense gratification, liberation, very insignificant achievements. We have nothing, Because if you have diamonds, next to diamonds, you put plastic, you put glass, and you put some, cheap gems. Nothing comparing to diamonds. When one is situated in pure devotional service, he develops love of Godhead. Therefore, let me describe some of the symptoms of pure devotional service. So, then Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu put into the heart of Sri Rupa Goswami the two most famous shlokas. Probably we'll sing them along now. The first one is Anya Bilasita Shunyam Jnana Karma Dhyanavritam Anukulyana Krishna Nushilanam Bhaktir Uttama. Everybody should learn this verse. What is the pure devotional service? In the second half of this verse, it is said what it is, and in the first half, it's said what it is not. So, the constant cultivation of activities fully dedicated to the happiness of Krishna, performed with your body, mind, and words, and with your moods, both by your body and by your moods, which are devoid of any other desires than desire for the devotional service, devoid of mixture of karma, jnana, and yoga, other processes, and other things. That is pure devotional service. That is first formula. Then the second formula, Mahaprabhu told Rupa Goswami, Sarva padi vinirmoktam tat paratvena nirmanam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhakti ruttama. So Uttama Bhakti, or pure devotional service, is serving by the senses to the master of the senses. Rishikesha is master of the senses. By the Rishika, by senses, we serve the master of the senses. Before taking prasad, we sing one song. Sharira Bidya Jadandriya Tahekal. Jiva Pele Vishaya Sagore. Remember it? You should remember. Learn that song before prasad. It's a very important song by Srila Bhaktivinoda. Devotees in ISKCON and my Gurudev Sangha, they always sing that Sharira Abhidya Jal. Sharira means body. The body is the lamp of ignorance. And the Rishikas, what's that? Jadandriya. The senses, the source of ignorance. Like snakes, you know. So they lead us somewhere we should not go. So we should direct our senses towards the master of the senses. That's the principle. So the river will become happy when it will meet the ocean. When it meets the ocean, the river is very happy. So we have to direct the waters of the river of our consciousness towards the ocean of Bhakti Rasa, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Ki Jai. So there, our senses will meet Krishna, and thus we have to become free from all designations. What's that? Sarvapadi, Upadi, all the Upadis, all the designations, like I'm British, I'm such and such color, such and such race, such and such position, such and such capital, bank balance, the recognition and adoration, etc., etc., etc. So all those are designations. So we have to become free. Therefore, before chanting our Gayatris, we like to chant another verse, which also was collected by Srila Rupa Goswami in the anthology called, what's that? Padyavali. Naham vipro na cha narapatim na pivaishana shudro. Naham varni na cha grihapatir no vanastantiva. Kintu pradhyani kila paramananda purnamritam dir. Gopi bhartu pada kamalar dasa dasa nudasa. I am not a Brahmana, I'm not a Kshatriya, I'm not a Vaishya, I'm not a Shudra, I'm not Brahmachari, I'm not Grihastha, I'm not Vanaprastha, I'm not a sannyasi. So I don't belong to any of the four social and spiritual divisions, Varnashrama system. Who am I? Gopi Bhartupada Kamalayur Dasa Dasa Nodasa. I'm Dasa Dasa Nodasa means servant of the servant of the servant of Gopi Bhartu, the beloved of the Gopis Krishna. That's it. No matter, I may be a king, I may be a pauper, I may be, a very fallen person after drugs, I may be, a policeman, I may be a president, doesn't matter, I'm a devotee of Krishna. So, therefore, King Prataparudra, the king of Puri, was rejected of Mahaprabhu's darshan. Mahaprabhu didn't want to see him, although he knew that the king was a great devotee. But Mahaprabhu is saying, for me, I'm a sannyasi, it's not good to see the king. So the king was so repentant, and the devotees were petitioning Mahaprabhu for the king. But finally, the king came dressed as an ordinary citizen, and before that, he was also sweeping. Now, Rath Yatra is going on in Puri, so he was sweeping the ground before the Lord Jagannath's Ratha chariot as an ordinary citizen. And then he came to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Vallabha Gardens, where Mahaprabhu was resting dressed as an ordinary citizen, and then Mahaprabhu listened to him singing, to his singing. He was singing Gopi Gita. And when he was singing Gopi Gita, then Mahaprabhu was so happy and embraced him. He was saying, Burida Jana, Burida Jana, your most greatest donor for the humanity, Burida Jana. And gopis are singing, one who is proclaiming your glories. Burida Jana means the greatest donors for the humanity. So Mahaprabhu was keeping repeating those words, Burida Jana, Burida Jana. And he embraced King Prataparudra. He couldn't realize that it was the king. So even the king, you see, was acting as an ordinary citizen. Very nicely. So a pure devotee must not cherish any desire other than to serve Krishna. He should not offer worship to the demigods or to mundane personalities. He should not cultivate artificial knowledge, which is devoid of Krishna consciousness, as he should not engage himself in anything other than Krishna conscious activities. One must engage all one's purified senses in the service of the Lord. This is the favorable execution of Krishna conscious activities. So, in the last 15 minutes, we'll hear something about the teachings about the rasa, teachings of the rasa or relationship with the Lord. As we mentioned before, in the world's religions, we cannot find teachings about the rasa, about relationship with the Lord. Or they're given in, how to say, in hints, only in hints, but not actual description is there. So, okay. So first Mahaprabhu describes what prema is, pure love. The basic aspects of prema are described, from sneha to mahabhava, different grades. Sneha means ecstatic attraction, and mahabhava is already in the hearts of the residents of spiritual world, such as Krishna's boyfriends, Srimati Radhika's girlfriends. And the highest manifestation is in the heart of Srimati Radhika, that is Madanakya Mahabhava, highest manifestation. The gradual development of prema may be compared to different states of sugar. When sugar is produced from sugarcane juice, first juice is extracted from the cane. Then juice is boiled, it becomes thicker, then it becomes liquid molasses, then solid molasses, then sugar, candy, rock candy, and finally lozenges. So thus sugar is cut into small cubes, and we have what we have in the kitchen. So all these stages are combined, are called sthai bhava. Sthai bhava means constant ecstasy. So sthai bhava, or constant ecstasy, is typical for the heart of any devotee who is coming to the stage of perfection. In the spiritual world, the residents, they have raga, or spontaneous attraction to Krishna. Remember, we're comparing to colored glass, right? So then that colored glass will become actual reality in our heart. Means our raga will develop, and sthai bhava will be the platform. And on that platform of sthai bhava, or constant ecstasy, the four constitutional parts of bhakti rasa, namely vibhava, anubhava, sattvika bhava, vyabhichari bhava, will become mixed, churned on the basis of sthai bhava. So thus our eternal tendency to serve Krishna will grow. So sthai bhava and those four rasa samagris, or the constitutional parts of rasa, they're compared to a drink like sherbet. In India, there's sherbet. So these tastes are like combination of yogurt, sugar candy, ghee, black pepper, camphor. Very, very palatable, sweet as nectar. So according to different types of Bhakti Rasa. There are 5 types of relationship. 5 main rasas, or 5 types of relationship. The first one is neutral. Second one is dasya, means servitorship. Then sakya, friendly relationship. Vatsalya, or parental love. And finally madhurya, or love in the mood of a beloved. So we can develop this particular relationship with Krishna. But those who are followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, normally they have tendency towards madhurya, or beloveds, the mood of the beloveds, and sakya, the mood of friends of Krishna. So there are 2. Therefore, in Javadharma, the 2 heroes, Vijay Kumar and Brajanath, they have these 2 respective types of Sthaya Bhava and Bhakti Rasa in their hearts. So 90-something% Madhurya. That's main mood given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in these 5, in addition to the 5 direct mellows, there are 7 indirect mellows: laughter, wonder, chivalry, compassion, anger, disaster, and fear. So these 7, they cooperate with the 5 main ones. For example, in Sakya Rasa, in the life of cowherd boyfriends, the friends of Krishna, so much laughter. So much laughter. Sometimes anger, sometimes disaster, wonder, so many. So Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada in Nectar of Devotion describes so many instances, and that's a synoptical treatise on Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So the friends of Krishna, Shridam, Subal, in Dwaraka, the Lord's friends are Bhima and Arjuna. Parental affection in Vrindavan, Yashoda and Nanda, mother and father of Krishna. In Dwaraka, Vasudeva and Devaki are mother and father of Krishna. See? In Vrindavan, Krishna has Nanda and Yashoda. And in Dwaraka already everybody thinks he's the son of Vasudeva and Nanda. Vasudeva and Devaki. So you'll hear more as you read about those pastimes, what happened. So attachment to Krishna is divided into 2 categories. One type is awe and reverence, and the other one is pure attachment without reverence. So in different abodes, awe and reverence is manifested to a certain extent, and the closer to Vrindavan, the less it's manifested. And in Vrindavan, in Braj, it's absent, just absent, no awe and reverence. Everybody knows Krishna very, very closely. So when opulence is very prominent, love of Godhead is somewhat crippled. That's why in Vaikuntha, they cannot embrace Lord Narayana. Hanuman will never think of embracing Lord Ram as a servant. So Hanuman in the form of a monkey, right? So in Vrindavan, Krishna prays to the lotus feet of his mother and father, and even Vasudeva and Devaki in Vaikuntha, in Dwaraka, yes. So in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna saw Krishna's universal form, and he changed his mood. Before, his relation was so friendly, but there he saw universal form of Krishna, so many faces, so many, mouths with fire emanating from them, so many types of weapons, etc., etc. So he became filled with awe and reverence. So he started offering prayers and apologizing. Sorry, I was addressing you, a friend before, like, oh Krishna, oh Yadava, oh my friend, not knowing all of your glories. So he changed a bit. But he was a friend of Krishna's. But could any coward boy, Sridam Sudam Madhumangal Stoka Krishna Ujjval, Arjuna and Raj, be able to speak like this? Never, never. They're close bosom friends, What kind of universal form? It's like a fiction. Nobody would believe. Once Yashoda, mother of Krishna, was told by the boys that Krishna had been eating dirt. Yashoda was willing to check. Okay, open your mouth. See, you naughty boy, open your mouth. I want to see if you really eaten dirt. And Krishna opened his mouth, and Yashoda saw universal form. She saw all the planets. She saw all the abodes, all the demigods, all those faces, with fire emanating from them, etc., helmets, etc., 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 and saw the earth, and saw Vraj, and saw herself looking into Krishna's mouth. So she was thinking, what? Oh, Narayan, oh my Lord, some ghost must have captured me. What I'm seeing, cannot believe. Oh, Brahmanas, please come, chant some protective mantras. So she was not thinking that, oh, this is the great Lord, Om Namo Narayanaya. She was not thinking. She said, wow, what kind of illusion I'm seeing? Some bad ghost must have entered me, or something. I'm seeing something strange. So she was very disturbed. And so many different pastimes Krishna performs in different planets. So these pastimes can be permeated with awe and reverence. On one side, on the other side, they can be fully filled with madhurya, or sweetness. So in Vraj, in Vrindavan, sweetness is fully manifest. So in the 5 different rasas, in each of them, there is one element which is specifically typical for that particular rasa. In that same way, as material world is manifested. When material world is manifested, then 5 material elements manifest one by one. The first subtlemost element is ether. Ether manifested. And ether has one quality, sound. So like radio, that's the principle. And the second element is the air. And the specific quality of the air is touch. We can feel the air like this. The ether we cannot feel, but the air we can feel. And certainly in the air there's sound also, because it's from the ether, the previous element. Then fire comes, and fire has very special element, form. And certainly it has sound and has touch. And then comes what? Water. So water has very special element. What? Taste, yes. And certainly all the previous ones. And then the last element is earth, and earth has smell. So in that same way, in the neutral relationship, there's Shraddha, faith. Neutral relationships. Yogis, Jnanis, they have faith towards Brahman, towards the impersonal feature. Okay? But then Dasya Bhakta, or devotee having servitorship mode towards the Lord, has a very, very special feature called mamata, or the sense of possessiveness. So he sees Krishna as person, certainly, and Prahlad saw Lord Nrisimhadev, half man, half lion, as Lord, had full faith in him, and Shuddha Dasa, the pure servant, is Hanuman, that same Hanuman, the hero of Ramayana in the shape of a monkey, the leader of the monkey army, commander. So he saw Lord Ram as ideal servant. If Ram was thinking about something, even before Rama thought, Hanuman was there. He was ready to serve. So mamata means my Lord, my Lord. One time somebody told Hanuman that Krishna wanted something from him, so Hanuman didn't do anything. But then they told, oh, you should have told that Rama wanted something from him, that he would immediately be there. Because for Hanuman, Krishna is Rama. So he is mamata towards Rama, not for Krishna. So then Sakya rasa, or friendly relationship. The rasa of friendly relationship, Sakya, has very special feature called Vishramba, or closeness. So, for example, even Krishna and Arjuna, although Arjuna came to know that Krishna was Supreme Personality of Godhead in the middle of Bhagavad Gita, before they were sleeping together, and Arjuna was sleeping at the lotus feet of Krishna, and Krishna was sleeping at the feet of Arjuna. And Arjuna was saying in his dream, Krishna, Krishna, and Krishna was saying, Arjuna, Arjuna, like this. So very close. But cowherd boys are even closer to Krishna. Cowherd boys bring baskets of food, different samosas, pakoras, those Indian tasty things. They bring along to the fields, to the pasturing grounds. So they share, and they give their friends those pakoras and samosas to taste. So first a boy is eating and then giving Krishna, Krishna, taste, like this, after himself giving the Supreme Lord, Supreme Lord, Catholic cross. Okay, that's Haribol. So it's unbelievable. It's just unbelievable, to give the Supreme Lord like this. So this is called Vishramba. So the servants, like Hanuman, could not believe, couldn't even imagine a give Lord Ram like this. No! So there's no Vishramba. It's always distance. Then parental relationship, parental love. Nanda and Yashoda have very, very, very special feeling of palana, maintenance. Right? Vasudeva Devaki also, that if we don't bring up our son nicely, then he will become a thief. Already he's becoming a thief. He's stealing butter, Krishna butter thief. So they're disciplining Krishna. But friends, Krishna's friends are equal. They cannot discipline him like this. Balaram is a bit elder. He has some vatsalya towards Krishna, elder brother, so he can chastise a bit, but not the younger ones or equal ones. They cannot. Okay, so that sense, that feeling is called palana or maintenance, and then madhurya bhava or the rasa of beloveds has one very special quality: serving to the hero, and to the object of love, with all limbs of her body. The heroine is serving the hero with all limbs of her body. So the gopis are like this. Maidservants, yeah. Coward girls of Vraj, they're like this. They're giving up everything. They're giving up everything. They're ready to serve Krishna with all of their bodies, minds, and words. They don't care about morality. They don't care about traditions of the dynasty. They don't care about what elders will say. In the middle of the night, they leave everything and they run because Krishna is playing the flute. Some gopis were decorating their eyes, eyelid, with eyeliner. Decoration not finished. One time Krishna decorated Radhika's eye with his own hand. On another occasion, one gopi ran towards Krishna, not properly dressed, or parts of dress meant for the lower part of the body, they put on the upper part, and vice versa. Because no time, no desire also. Because desire is only to meet Krishna like this. Gopis are getting dressed very, very nicely, especially to meet Krishna. But when Krishna plays the flute, they give everything up and run. Some of them were making chapatis for the husbands. Some of them were looking after the children. They're putting aside everything and running towards the transcendental flute player, Krishna. So that is called serving with all the parts of the body, and that is the highest manifestation. Certainly, all the previous qualities are included in each subsequent rasa. So Madhurya rasa is the highest. So thus, on the platform of transcendental qualities of all the five rasas are present. All the material qualities evolve yes, okay, already seen. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu then concluded, I have simply given a general survey describing the mellows of devotional service. You can consider how to adjust and expand this. When one thinks of Krishna constantly, the love of him manifests within the heart. Even though one may be ignorant, one can reach the far shore of the ocean of transcendental love by Krishna's mercy. After saying this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced Srila Rupa Goswami. Then the Lord decided to go to the city of Benares, where he met Sri Sanatana Goswami, where Sanatana came. So the next morning, when Mahaprabhu arose and prepared to leave for Varanasi, Srila Rupa Goswami submitted the following statement to the Lord's lotus feet. If you give me permission, I shall go. With your lordship, it's not possible for me to tolerate the waves of separation from you. Mahaprabhu replied, your duty is to carry out my order. You have come near Vrindavan, now you should go there. So Mahaprabhu sent Srila Rupa Goswami to Vrindavan. Later, you could go from Vrindavan to Jagannath Puri through Bengal. There you will meet me again. So Mahaprabhu blessed him to have his third meeting in Puri that happened later. After embracing Rupa Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got into a boat and Rupa Goswami fainted and fell down on the spot. So that was the moment of their transcendental separation. Then after a long time, they met again in Jagannath Puri. So I was very happy today. We heard so much about the teachings of Srila Rupa Goswami. And now it's our time to practice, to put it into practice, because the path of bhakti is very, very joyful and it's full of rasa, described by Srila Rupa Goswami in his books. So we live in Vrindavan just next to the samadhi of Srila Rupa Goswami, and our loving guardians take us there. During the holy month of Kartik, we visit Rupa Goswami's samadhi every morning, early morning, and we pray for his causeless mercy. So Srila Rupa Goswami is the abode of great devotional mellows, and he's the object of worship for all devotees in all rasas, practicing in all moods. He's like a center point, the pivot of all devotion, and his samadhi is situated in Radha Damodar Mandir. You've tasted some Mahaprasad from that place just recently, and Radha Damodar Mandir is nothing but the pivot of the spiritual world, around which all the spiritual world is rotating, and Rasa Lila starts from there specifically. So the exalted position of Srila Rupa Goswami is difficult to overestimate. It's everything for us. So I am praying to become just a speck of dust at the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami, very, very fallen and unworthy servant of my Gurudev and Guru Parampara. Shiva Rupa Goswami Pada Ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Bol. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, we can discuss. Otherwise, soon we'll have Arati, and tomorrow there will be another class here in Chandrika Kunj. At 6 o'clock the program will start, and at 7 there will be class which will be broadcast.
So I have a question. You know, when it comes to, I was talking about different weeds growing alongside the main creeper, and one is this and one is that. So how is it even like possible to have, say, mistake that for? I don't understand how it could be possible to mistake, like, say, devotion with like sense enjoyment or enjoying fame or whatever. You know what I mean? So I find that a bit difficult to understand.
Well, I think it's quite elementary that many people who want to become devotees want to become enjoyers more than devotees. It happens very often. Like it's so natural. So it's easy to understand it. But they don't recognize that pure devotion is all in all, even if they hear that Siddhanta. So you have pure Guru, you hear that conception from him year after year. But okay, you hear, but you don't actually hear.
So is it unconscious?
Unconscious or conscious doesn't really matter. The whole thing is the result. If it's conscious, it certainly was. But if it's unconscious and Guru sees that, he can point it out and say, listen.
Okay.
Yeah, so pay attention. Otherwise, devotee is just consciously cultivating his name and fame instead of pure devotion. So that's why he's not growing, he or she is not growing in pure bhakti. Simple as that. And desire for liberation, desire for mystic perfection, karma jnana. Bhakti should be anavritam, should not be covered by that. Otherwise, creepers will just grow and pure devotion forgotten. You will have so much money and also you will achieve mystic perfections and something else. If you have money and you want money and mystic perfection, then you can make money very easily by mystic perfection. Good business. So, but like a genuine devotee will definitely check it. Hey, this is not, I'm deviating, this is not mine. Sometimes very difficult situations can be. It's very difficult. Some addictions can be there. You know, people have so many things. So, anyway, if you have pure guru, pure association, then just go to them and accept chastisement with all seriousness. You'll be curtailed, okay? Like this. Okay.
Some
Oh, Srila Rupa Goswami Samadhi.
It's like the rose one, so I usually take out a petal.
Yes. Okay. So give us those petals. Please give us those petals. Jai Srila Rupa Goswami Pada ki.
And what is this? If you want to find like this Siddhanta, where is it? What book or
Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bindu, Upadeshamrita, then Lalita Madhava Vidagda Madhava All Rasa is there. Lagu Bhagavatamrita.
So it's sort of spread.
Many books.
It's not like held in one. Is there one main one?
Gita Mala. Oh, what's it? His poetry. So.
Any question, but I'm really distracted.
No problem, no problem. You already are, so what's now speak.
I just wanted to make sure I understand what Sai Bhava is. So it's, if I can just check that I understand it correctly. It's like if I'm cooking, then Sai Bhava is the pot that I would use to then put all the different ingredients.
No, Sai Bhava. Oh, yeah, that comparison you mean.
Yeah, so essentially Sai Bhava is, that is the definition of, or the how I call my relationship to Krishna, my like how my relationship to Krishna is. Like I mean that's
Yeah. It can be compared to the pot and the ingredients. That's true. So your pot is your constant ecstasy. So you can stir everything in relation to your particular mood. Like this. It's a very separate subject. Bhakti Rasa. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu describes nicely, especially in our version. In charts you can see different types of where there's Alamban, Udipan, etc. Vishaya Alamban, Ashraya Alamban, all those things. Described very nicely. Okay.
I had another question. That was about you said the 4 different anarthas. And that you mentioned that actually like misconceptions are also anarthas. And so I wonder, because there is here in England a lot of people actually believe that they there is no difference between them and the Lord. So there is a lot of my friends even, they would have like, they share their revelations that God is love, and it's like what they say is like so close to what we see also in our Bhakti understanding. But then at the end they will add that between him and I there is no difference, I am God. And so it's a misconception.
Yeah.
So if person like this still chants Maha Mantra, because there's like different kirtan groups and they also do Maha Mantra chanting, then will they eventually come to clean these anarthas, even though it's not intentional like work to clean them?
Not affect at all, because they're watering the weeds. So weeds will grow. That's it. And the weed is like most prominent weeds, remember, two. Desire for bhukti and mukti. So they have desire for mukti. And but there is differentiation. You know, I have one nice chart here. There are three features which are common for personalism and impersonalism. Three things. One moment. Oh, actually, it's on the other side. For Advaita Siddhi and for Krishna Bhakti. So, similarity between the doctrines of Shankaracharya and the Vaishnavas. Both of them accept that, one, the jivas in the material world are completely distinct from the gross and subtle material bodies. So both personalists and impersonalists accept. Two, the jivas are spiritually existent. This is a good step forward from Buddhism, which says that jivas don't exist. Now, number three, liberation or mukti entails giving up all connection with this material world. So they also recognize the impersonalists. But comparing to Krishna Bhakti, impersonalism is cultivating the state of non-distinction or just unadulterated condition of spiritual substance. This is what Advaita Siddhi maintains. And Bhakti is recognition of the three factors. The relisher means me, the object of relish means Krishna, and the act of relishing means prema. So these three must be there. I am relishing love of God, and He is the object of my love, and He is also relishing my love. So this is called rasa. I will also always be me, and He will always be God. And rasa between us will be always prema. That's very, very important. So there is no question of non-distinction and unadulterated condition of spiritual substance. There's no mixture. Like a green parrot in the green leaves of the tree. It's always a parrot. You can see the particularities of those leaves in the tree. And stone in the water is always a stone. Surrounded by the water, but still a stone. Like this. So we will always be jiva. It's not possible to kill the jiva. Not possible to melt the jiva. Jiva is spiritual entity and will be always spiritual entity. But rasa will come and the jiva's body will become fully spiritual. That's the perspective of complete realization for the jiva. Okay. Right. Anything else? Purushottam, any questions? No questions. Why? Have to think, have to read and think.
It's just something I keep thinking about when the jiva enters its eternal service in the spiritual world under their Gurudev, then just kind of like the omnipresence, and omnipotence is a little puzzling to me because there are so many disciples of Srila Gurudev, and how we all serve, how we all fit in that service.
Okay, there will be definitely part of disciples who are bogus, and there will be also so many who are real. One thing. Another thing concerning the adjustment of the seva in spiritual world. When Gurudev was asked 2007 in the Russian darshan, so how about the adjustment in spiritual world? Who will receive which seva? Gurudev said very easily, when you come there, then you will see. When you come there, then you will see. But basically, everybody will be able to serve. There is no limitation in spiritual world. There will be seva for everyone, don't worry. Nobody will be deprived because it's limitless. All right. Okay. Suvarna, did anything? Okay. That's the birthday series coming up to the main event. Even 4 big installments. The main event. So we will share literature for those who want to read, then the lists, what you have to read. And from Srila Rupa Goswami also, starting from Upadeshamrita. Very, very essential. But the whole spirit of the teachings of Srila Rupa Goswami you will find in the works of our acharyas. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is considered to be another incarnation of Srila Jiva Goswami. But different, Srila Rupa Goswami, but different Jiva, different entity, but same, Tadatma, non-different conception. Like this. And Srila Gurudev also. So much Srila Rupa Goswami's conception and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti's.
So you know how sometimes you hear about the I don't know them all, but you know the sort of levels of devotion when you have like faith. Is this from Rupa Goswami as well?
Yeah. This is from Srila Rupa Goswami, Jiva Goswami.
Can you explain that a little bit?
Mahaprabhu. And then Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explained in Madhurya Kadambini. Well, there are 8 stages of devotion. 8 stages of devotion. First comes Shraddha, or faith. So when you hear Harikatha, your faith gradually becomes transcendental. Normally it's mundane. What's that? Kamala is movable, but mundane is called lokic. But then it will become paramartic, or transcendental. So when you have some faith in the holy name, in the process, in Sri Guru, then you start bhakti in Sadhu Sangha. So Shraddha, number 1, then Sadhu Sangha. Your Shraddha will bring you to Sadhu Sangha, and the first Shraddha comes through Sadhu Sangha, so they're interdependent. Then in Sadhu Sangha, you receive regulations. Okay, chant the holy name. So it's called Bhajana Kriya, number 3. Okay, remember Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya. Remember, you'll hear many, many times. So, have you heard before? Okay, so Bhajana Kriya means execution of devotional service. And in the execution of devotional service, we face the impediments, anarthas. Anartha, artha means value. An means having no. So having no value. Things are anarthas. So in execution of devotional service, you fight the anarthas. You get rid of the anarthas. Consequently, after you've conquered the after you get rid of anarthas, then your shraddha, or your faith, becomes firm faith, nishtha. So that's another step. Then you always serve Krishna, think about Krishna, offer Krishna everything. But that requires some mental endeavors. So it's still buddhi purvika. It's done under the supervision of the intelligence, of your intelligence. Then it becomes completely svabhavik, completely natural. And then it will become ruchi. Ruchi means deep taste. So that level of ruchi corresponds to madhyama adhikara, or medium type of devotion, medium level of devotion. Before that, it's before nishtha, it's kanishta. Kanishta means no nishtha. So anishtita bhajana kriya, that's what we do normally, like without firm faith. Serving, then looking left, looking right, and senses are attracting us, and we're doing nonsense or something happens. So then ruchi, after ruchi comes asakti. Asakti means very firm attraction towards lotus feet of Krishna. So that devotee is like a madman already for the world. For the world. If you meet such a devotee, you will think, like if a common person meets that devotee, and moralists will consider them sentimental, then Varnashrama practitioners will consider him fallen, etc., because no rules, no regulations. And then bhava will come. So these 7 out of 9 first steps of bhakti constitute sadhana, or spiritual practice. Then bhava will come, bhava, ecstatic emotion. That's number 8, and that's number 2, because sadhana, bhava, and prema are the 3 parts actually. So sadhana constitutes from the levels of from 1 to 7. So then 8 is bhava. Bhava, the first ray of prema. Prema Suryamsha Samyabhak. From the hearts of the eternal residents of Braj, the first ray will come into your heart, and your heart will melt in ecstatic emotions. So you will become bhavaka. Right? Tears will run from the eyes, from your eyes. Then your body will start trembling. You'll forget anything about everything in this world. You'll become indifferent to public opinion. All those things will manifest. And then when bhava becomes mature, then you'll achieve prema. But you have to be born in the planet where Krishna is now performing his pastimes from the womb of a gopi, and then you'll be trained in the science of prema. So then, on the level of prema, you receive swarupa. On the level of bhava, you receive swarupa siddhi. You'll receive the perfection of your spiritual body. You will know already how you serve Krishna and who are you, who you are. But then you will be immersed in the ocean of separation because you're not able to see that for some time. So you'll be crying, that's prema and separation. Where is my Lord? Where is my Lord? And then you'll meet the Lord, and your heart will be filled with ecstatic emotions. And that's prema of meeting. So Srila Bhaktivinoda described everything in Bhajana Rahasya, all those levels. Many shlokas he quoted corresponding to those levels, and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti could describe that in Madhurya Kadambini. So Bhajana Rahasya is the extended explanation of Madhurya Kadambini and Shikshashtaka actually. We did seminar in Russia several times. Gurudev was speaking in Bhajana Rahasya constantly. There was no Kartika, not a single Kartika while Gurudev was not speaking of Bhajana Rahasya. So read Confidential Secrets of Bhajan, Srila Gurudev's book, short book. It's nicely described. All the levels of bhakti nicely described. I have one godbrother. He was inspiring me so much by reading that book 50 pages every day. Like every day he was reading that book 50 pages. And he was saying, with big eyes, oh, what kind of book? What kind of book? So inspiring, Very nice book. So that's the path of our bhajan, starting now. But anyway, we have to cry a lot. We have to repent, then go towards bhava. And then again cry. There's a crying school, Srila Gorgavinda Maharaj said. I opened this temple, he said, Krishna Balaram in Bhubaneswar. He said, this is crying school. So we'll learn how to cry. Laugh also. When funny leelas, then we'll laugh, like Rupa Goswami was laughing. Once one devotee asked Gurudev, I heard that Srila Raghunath Das Goswami was only crying, never laughing. Who told you? Why are you reading unauthoritative books? Sometimes he was crying and sometimes he was laughing. Depends. Character of the lila. So your reaction is according to that. But a lot of crying, really. So Srila Gorgavinda Maharaj was just shouting from his asana, cry for Krishna. He was asking his disciple, Mathuranath Prabhu, he was with Gurudev from Australia. How old are you? At that time, I was 37. 37 and you're not crying for Krishna. Dhruva Maharaj was 5, and he was crying for Krishna. And he went to the forest to meditate on Lord Narayan, and he received perfection. Like, you are crying for Maya, and Maya comes. The illusory energy comes. So we are crying our relatives, our, unsuccessful relationship, and this and that, was supposed to cry for Krishna. Even those tears, I'm mine, I'm mine, I'm mine, George Harrison, Dr. George Harrison was completely right. We're crying for Maya. My, I, me, Miami. That's it. And we're crying for that. We're supposed to be crying for Krishna. And then Krishna will answer. Otherwise, Maya will answer, my dear. We'll be stroking you. But we have to be crying for Krishna. That's the art. So we have a long way to go. So I was very, very happy today, really. Very special atmosphere. Thank you so much. There's no words to say. We'll continue at Prasad. When all the black boxes are disconnected, then real conversation starts. Otherwise, they'll cheat us. Srila Madhusud Maharaj told that when you do broadcast, you become proud. Yes. Okay. On broadcast, and I think that I'm great guru and things, so I have to stop broadcasting. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow to the, how to say, our spectators. We'll see tomorrow at 7, like class will start at 7 British time. Hare Krishna. Gaur Premanande. Thank you. So now